Thank you. This is 23 PO 6160, which is Kimona Hutchinson and Shaquille Hutchinson, and I have both parties here. And 23 PO 6161, which is Crystal Hutchinson and Shaquille Hutchinson, and again, both parties are here. I want to go through some preliminary instructions, and then we'll get started on the hearing. First of all, while one party is testifying, there is to be no interruption by the other party. If that happens, the court will mute you and you will have to wait. There will be no unmuting and making comments. There is an opportunity for every side to be heard, and I will give you that opportunity. Unmuting and speaking during the other person's testimony will only delay the proceedings and will not benefit you because I won't be able to hear either party at that time. So please make sure to abide by that during the hearing. The other thing is that obviously there are two cases that I'm handling at this time. So what I will do in order to make this go a bit more smoothly is I'm having the hearings at the same time. I'm going to hear from both petitioners, and then I'm going to allow the respondent a chance to respond. Once the petitioners have testified, they will have an opportunity to present witnesses they wish to have testify. Once the respondent has testified, he will have a chance to have any witnesses that he wishes to have testified. What I do not want to have is repetitive testimony. So if somebody is coming in just to say, yeah, I saw the same thing, we don't really need that, okay? That doesn't do anything other than to delay. So make sure that if you're calling a witness that they have something besides that. The other thing is that if you have submitted evidence that you want the court to consider that the clerk's office has, then you need to let us know at the time that you want to bring that evidence in, and the clerk's office will bring that up onto the screen so that that can be considered. And I will, of course, take it into consideration once it has been presented. Okay, so at this point, I want all three of you to unmute yourself, and I'm going to get you sworn in at the same time. All right, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you're about to provide is true and correct under penalty of perjury? First, Miss Crystal Hutchinson.
Yes.
All right, and if you could unmute Miss Kimona Hutchinson and tell me whether or not you agree.
I agree.
All right, and Mr. Shaquille Hutchinson, if you could unmute and tell me whether or not you agree.
I agree.
All right, thank you. You can all put your hand down. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Miss Kimona Hutchinson because your case number is first.
Yes,
If you will state your full name and how you know Mr. Hutchinson.
Kimona Kellyanne Hutchinson, and Shaquille is my brother.
Okay, and at the time of filing this protective order, did you live together?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and and before I go any further, let me just ask: do any of you have witnesses in the room with you at this time?
No.
If you do, please tell them they have to go to another room. They are not allowed to be a part of this hearing until it's their time to testify. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. And I do apologize. All right, Miss Hutchinson, you were living together at the time of this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how long had you been living together?
Well over 2 years.
Okay.
On and off. He would come and go. So.
And this home that you were living in, who owns it?
My mother.
And it is here in DeKalb County?
Yes, ma'am.
And does your mother reside with you?
Yeah, no. She
stays
with her. She stays with her boyfriend more majority of the time. So it's just really the kids that are here, just all of us that are here.
Okay. All right. So how many people live in the home?
We have 4 adults and 2 children.
Okay. And that's including Mr. Hutchinson when he comes and goes?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me what happened and led to you requesting this protective order.
So on this particular day,
which was what?
My gosh, this was, I don't even remember the date. It was sometime in July.
Okay.
July, it was before July 1st or July 4th, I want to say.
Okay.
My sister and I were in the living room having a conversation about a previous situation with him that happened back in October where we got into a confrontation with his girlfriend, and the kids were here, and she's kicking the door and she's swearing and she's trying to fight.
Okay, let me interrupt you for a moment. Y'all were having a conversation about an incident in October.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened when he came in?
He came in, he came out the garage, he walked to the laundry room, and then he came back from out the laundry room into the living room area where we were sitting. And he proceeds to say like, oh, this situation is not even about Anna, which is the girlfriend's name. It's not even about her. And then he just starts going off like, if I wanted to put you guys out, I could put you guys out. And mommy said she's going to give me the house. So immediately when he said that, we started to laugh because it was like, knowing the situation, of course, personal family matters. We laughed it off. And then immediately he became irate. He starts, oh, you bitches, excuse me, I don't even know if I can say that.
That's fine.
You bitches, you guys aren't worth shit. I don't know what you can hear on the audio. He came in my face at one point, told me I'm a miserable, depressed bitch, and that I need to go kill myself. I'm 6-7 months pregnant at the time. So I'm just like, I don't understand, why you're so unhinged and that I'm pregnant. Like, he's literally trying to get in my face. My sister had to jump in, and my daughter's sitting down having her lunch, and he's acting out. And it's just like, why are you doing this? Why? For what reason? The situation was, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Did he lay hands on you on that day?
He did not.
Okay. Has he ever laid hands on you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So he got into your face, and then what happened?
My sister stepped in between and kind of like, you got to back up, go upstairs. And he starts going off. At this point, I don't even know. It was so much going on. My fiance came out the room and at one point had to like hold him back because he's trying to like push past my fiance. So it was just kind of like, you're so unhinged. Like, we need you to calm down. The kids are here. And that's our biggest thing, is that the kids are here, and he has no regard to the fact that the kids are here.
Okay. And has he ever acted like this before?
Yes. Yes. We've had to call the police on many occasions since he's been here. And because there's no bruising or anything like that, they always say, well, we can't take a police report, which I think is crazy if we're asking for one. But that has always been the issue with talking to the police when they've been called.
And how did it make you feel on this incident date?
Very, very, very scared, because at one point before he left out, he went through the back door. He's like, I'm gonna show you guys. I'll be back. I'm gonna show you guys. And at this point, the kids are in the living room, and I'm telling them like, yo, get the kids away from the back door, because I'm not sure if he's gonna come back and shoot at the place. I don't know. He's so unpredictable. So I'm like, get the kids from the back door, get them away from the windows. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's their safety that I'm worried about.
Okay. And do you know him to carry a gun?
I don't. We don't talk. I don't know what's going on in his life. I honestly don't know. But just in he's so erratic that, I can't put anything past anybody. Not when my child is involved.
All right. And this protective order was issued on July 11th. Have you heard from him since then?
No, not since the day of the serving.
All right. Is there anything else about that incident that you would like for me to know today?
Nothing. My heart is racing. I don't know. It's like everything goes out the door when you're,
had you submitted any evidence into the record that you wanted the court to consider?
I did not, because I knew that they would be putting the cases together. My sister submitted everything that we had collectively.
All right, that's fine. Then at this point, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself, and I'm going to switch to your sister's testimony, and we're going to go like that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Next, I have Crystal Hutchinson. You've already been sworn in, and I believe that I am up to date enough to say that you are Miss Hutchinson's sister, and Mr. Hutchinson's sister. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Oh, all right. And are you living in the home with your sister?
Yes.
Okay, so you all live together.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how long have you lived there?
Since 2006.
Okay. And you filed your request for a protective order on or about the same date and time as your sister. And
Correct.
is it related to the same event and incident?
Yeah, I also have another event also. So yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about the other event.
The other event, it was, I believe it was July. It was fairly a couple, maybe like a day after the police was called for the incident that we decided to file the protection order for. That day he left out. It was me, my son's father, and my child here at the time. And he left out of the house and he left our garage door wide open. So I went downstairs and I realized that the garage door is open. So went ahead and closed the garage door. About 5-10 minutes later, he ends up coming, ringing the doorbell. We have something, a device with our door that necessarily sometimes it
Hold
works.
on
It
for a
doesn't
second,
work.
I apologize.
Mhm.
Mr. Hutchinson, I need you to stay in one spot and to stay on camera, please. We are in court. Thank you. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hutchinson.
Yes, ma'am. So he came in. First thing he came in saying is, excuse me, excuse my language, but I do want to this to be as accurate as possible. He came in and the first thing he said was, why the F would you lock the effing garage door? So, at that time I'm just like, my kid is here, I'm here, people, somebody could just run up in the house, anything can happen. You can't leave the door open like that. And he kept saying, do that shit again, do that shit again, do that shit again, and I'm gonna call the effing police on y'all. So at that time, I called my sister. Before I tried calling the police at first, but the line was busy. So I ended up having to have my boyfriend call. And then I called my sister to kind of let her know what was going on, just in case if anything happened. She kind of had a backstory of what was going on at the time. But he was threatening me in front of my kid. He was telling me how he was going to beat my ass. He was going to beat my ass. I'm not shit. Shut the fuck up. It was just crazy that day. I would, if I can, I would like to present those videos 1-7, so that you guys can have like a backstory of.
All right, and where
down.
were these videos taken from?
We have a alarm system, so I was able to actually get into the app to download those videos.
All right, and do you recall what day they were taken on?
Yes, the incident that we did the TPO for, that was June, between I want to say the 30th or the 28th. And then the second incident was around the 2nd of July, the 3rd, that happened.
Okay. And these videos, this is from your alarm company?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
All right. And do they show a fair and accurate representation of the incidents that occurred on those days?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And has there been any tampering to your knowledge of these videos?
No, everything is sent strictly from them.
Okay. So what we're going to do at this time, Ms. Broom, is if you will sequentially play, you said exhibits 1-7?
Yes, 1-6, excuse me. 6 and
6.
7 is in the same video.
Okay.
Okay, Judge, and also we sent back an email that 4 was too large and that didn't go through yesterday around 11:20. You received that email.
Okay, so let's play 1-3 and then 5 and 6.
And 6. Okay.
Okay.
Why do y'all jump when I start talking? Can I get the floor?
Ignore this.
Can I get the floor? Can I get the floor? Let me get the floor. You don't need that. Let it be said. Let it be said that first of all, shut up. First of all, let it be said you got spoken with other people in your family. I'm not disrespectful. fucking leaving. The fuck? This the last resort. It's gonna be me and thing there. Are you and Chris not moving? Are you and Chris not moving? Are you and Chris not moving? You're not getting the house. Are you? I don't want it. Somebody. The fuck? Get the fuck out. The fuck? Next time your bitch comes in here, you're not gonna. You're the fucking man. You're the bitch. You are a motherfucker. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill your fucking self. Kill your fucking self. You don't give a fuck about doing your fucking thing. Kill yourself. Kill your fucking self.
Ooh.
Who are you talking to?
You, nigga. You.
You're not talking to me. I'm gonna call the police again. All right, let me call them.
You're fucking innocent, nigga. You're not fucking innocent.
All right,
you ain't
bye.
shit. You're not shit. You saw me walking the fucking door. You locked the garage. You're not shit, bro. You're really not. What? You need to stay here. I don't.
Stop doing it. That's your own shit here.
Because he's gonna go to jail. She's gonna go to jail for child endangerment.
You lock the door and you see I'm coming to the fucking door.
Child endangerment because.
Then you always talking about child endangerment like I'm about to think that my nephew. You sound fucking stupid as shit.
My child is here and you are threatening.
Bruh, shut up. You sound dumb. You sound dumb as fuck. Always talking about I'm gonna do something to my nephew. They not always talking about gay shit and this. Have y'all been touched when y'all were younger? Y'all talk about a lot of gay shit. You and Simona. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Y'all ain't shit. Both of y'all in here and y'all can't afford the fucking same thing. What the fuck are you talking about? Ain't no fucking high-ass billionaire while two other people is in here. I told mommy she wanna give me the house.
Hi, can I have someone at 12? I feel like my life is in danger.
That's it, Judge. Yeah.
My apologies, I was on mute. All right, Miss Crystal Hutchinson, you can continue with your testimony.
I'm sorry if I can say this. I had something to say pertaining to video 4. I was sent an email yesterday to confirm that they did receive all of them. So I'm not sure how they missed video.
Apparently video 4 was too large.
Oh, it was too long. Okay, that's why it couldn't download. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so they weren't able to take that one, but the others.
Okay.
Okay, so we saw a video from 2 separate days, obviously.
Yes.
Is there anything you wish to add as it relates to those videos?
Yes, I just 100%, I don't feel comfortable with Shaquille in the household at all. My room is directly across from his. It's the hostility, it's his aura, the fact that he gets upset, the fact that he gets upset to that extent, and there's no in between for him. There's no, okay, the kids are here, let me kind of calm down. The kids are here, let me go get a walk. It's just, it's chaotic. It's way too much. It's way too much. And if my child, I'm going to do what's best for my child. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm mainly worried about myself, but I'm mainly worried about my child too. Because it's both of our safeties, especially with him, with this erratic behavior that he's exuding is just way too much. It's way too much. He's unfit. He's unfit.
And how long has he been acting like this as far as the erratic behavior that
We've actually had a couple occasions where his behavior has gotten to the point where police had to be called. Like my sister stated earlier, every time that we have called the police, it has always been a situation where they're like, somebody has to physically be hurt or physically, for them to kind of take whatever police report. So we don't have paper trail, but I'm pretty sure if, you look over the years and through the logs or whatever, police had been called quite a few times, honestly.
All right. And is there any other evidence that you want the court to consider at this time?
No, I think I sent everything in.
Okay. And I'll return to both of you after the respondent has had a chance to testify. As the party that carries the burden of proof, you do have an opportunity for rebuttal. All right. So now if you all could mute yourself, I'm going to ask Mr. Shaquille Hutchinson to unmute.
I'm here, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. You were previously sworn in. You've heard the testimony of your sister, Kimona and Crystal Hutchinson. Now is an opportunity for you to respond. And then I also noticed that you have witnesses, so we'll get to that in just a moment. So if you'd like to give testimony, you are free to do so.
Well, first, pertaining to that situation with my girlfriend, the dates are correct, but what she forgot to include is that she has threatened my girlfriend. We were sitting in my room.
Let me interrupt you for one moment. I didn't go into letting her talk about that October incident because that's not what we're here for today. That's why.
Oh, so you just want the recent one?
So I just want to talk about June 30th and July.
Perfect. Since in June, they called the cops on me 4 times. Actually, the cops were called to 5 times, one in which I had to call the cops in the morning because I do security. I work 8 to 8 and 6 to 6. So when I am at the house, I'm only at the house to get sleep, shower, and so forth, and then go. I had to call the police to the house because we have a lock on the door where it is buttons. They did change the code to the door. When I called the police, they said that they can't let me in, forcefully, but they can verbally knock and someone would have to come to the door. What Crystal Hutchinson will do is as you've seen on the video, I'm never nowhere near them. I'm either usually like the one where we're upstairs. I'm literally walking back and forth to the bathroom in my room because my room is on the other side of the house. Yes, my door is across from my sister's, but I'm so never in the house that I rarely ever see them. These other situations where they're talking about where I'm hostile and this and that, I've been in many environments where nobody thinks I'm hostile. I work a security job. I deal with people like that on a day-to-day basis. Dealing with them over the years, it has become built up. One of the witnesses I have is my sister to say as well as she has had to distance herself from them because she thinks it's whether a jealousy thing or they think my mom spoils me. Mind you, I'm the only boy and I'm the youngest. So they think like my mom spoils me or whatever, or grants me too much freedom. Mind you, I'm 26 years old. I was already planning on moving out in November because I did not want to. She wants to talk about aura energy. It's really them I can't be under. So I already made a plan to move myself out in November for my birthday. That was supposed to be a birthday gift to myself. I don't really need to be at the house, but that's where all my things are. And it's easier because my mom doesn't have me paying rent as much as I would be paying if I was in a single apartment. With that being said, when the cops do show up and what they forgot to mention is the cops did ask to see those videos. There was one male officer that asked to see the video, and there was a female officer that asked to see the video. And when they saw the videos, they said, if there's any sign of attack or him coming near you, we will detain him and we will arrest him right now. They watched the video, saw that there was no sign of attack or anything that she said, and they did not take me to jail. I was also given a TPO paper to file, but I figured, it's family, that's my niece, my nephew. Even if I do have something going on with my siblings, it's not worth the time at all. That being said, she keeps saying she's in danger for her child's life, and my other sister's in danger for her child's life. I have recognition when there's children around, but clearly in the video, they have no recognition either, because I'm not sitting there arguing with myself. I'm not going back and forth with myself. It's back and forth with them. And even that situation that they did show, I went to the laundry room to put my clothes out of the dryer. And when I was doing that, Crystal was already talking to Kimona saying that, oh, if his girlfriend comes over here, I'm going to beat her ass, or I'm going to call the police, all these types of threats. I've never said I'm going to beat my sister's ass, because that is a woman. That's a female. I'm not going to go to jail for me putting my hands on you. That's a clear reason to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fight a woman. Now, you're sitting here threatening someone who's not here to defend themselves. So I calmly said, even in the video, I said, without the animosity, can I get the floor? I'm just trying to speak. I said that clearly in the video. And they're the ones who always jump to the yelling and the shouting. Those videos might not seem tampered with, but they're the only ones who have access to them because they are at the house. I have no access to any video evidence to show anything full of anything. But I do have witnesses that can portray that I'm not an angry person. I'm very peaceful. Like I said, with that being at that house, I'm only there from 8 p.m. I work from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and I work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. When I get home, they're asleep. And by the time I wake up, I take a shower and then I go right back to work. I'm never in the house longer than that. Plus, I have a car. I have my ex's house that I can go to. They both have their men staying in the house. Now, those are their daughters and their son. I would figure if that was true and they felt like I was hostile toward their children, they would have also signed off on the papers as well. But it's just my sisters, which it seems more like a personal sibling jealousy, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how you want to view it, but it seems more like that type. All this them talking about me being crazy and this and that. No, this isn't the first girlfriend they've threatened to fight or beat up or call the cops. This is an ongoing thing. And the fact that I've spoken with my sister, who I haven't spoken to in a long time, told me that she had to distance herself from them two specifically. It's just, we all know. Like, when they put me out, all my family was contacted and everybody's asking, why are you putting Shaquille out? They're getting on my mom, like, why are you putting out the youngest? What did he do? He's not hostile. They're even, from the stuff that Crystal has told the police, they're even still saying, like, he's not, why would you know what I'm saying? And I'm not to say that the cap, but you know how some police are, especially dealing with a Black man. So the fact that you called the cops on me 4 to 5 times within 1 month, and clearly I'm never near you, even in the video where I'm just walking back and forth because the bathroom's on the other side of the house. Her and her boyfriend, she moved her boyfriend in and they locked me out of the bathroom that is on my side of the house. So right now I'm the only one bathing like a pilgrim on the other side in the house on my mom's construction shop. So it's not like I'm hostile or I'm just mad or angry. They're literally doing stuff to me while I'm there. And then when I react, they will call the police and make it sound like I'm a hostile, crazy person. But when the cops come and they speak to me and they see the videos, they're like, oh, he's not dangerous. Even when I was served the TPO, the cops took a step in my room and they were just like, oh, he's not, he doesn't even, you know what I'm saying? But everything that they basically said, as far as events, clearly it's happened. It's in the video. But as far as me being hostile and me being a threat to my niece and nephew, to which I love, there's been instances where they tried to keep them away from me. Like my nephew would try and come to my room. That same day, he tried to come into my room. And as soon as he came out, Crystal Hutchinson beat him just for coming into contact with me. And my nephew loves me. So all this hostility and stuff where I'm just, I'm evil or I'm trying to hurt, or even owning a gun. I don't own a gun. They own a gun. I have no gun. I've never been hostile. I have no criminal record. If any criminal record I have is probably for me riding with a expired tag because I had to get to school and work and I couldn't ask family for a ride or any type of help whatsoever. But otherwise than that, I have no criminal history or record of being violent with children or anything. And I work security, so I can't even have anything like that on my record. I wouldn't be able to work. So with this being said, all of this is more like a personal thing and a sibling thing, really, because I have my oldest sister waiting on the waiting to testify for me, and my mother waiting to testify for me, saying she doesn't want me out and that I'm not
Okay.
that.
So your older sister did she live in the residence with you three?
She has been here. She's been there a couple of times. She was just down here for my mom's 60th birthday, and she was wondering what was going on, like why.
So she visits, but she didn't live with you?
Not she had her nieces living here with us. Her daughters. Her daughters,
Oh,
actually.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and what is her name?
Shakira Hutchinson.
Shakira. Let's bring in Shakira Hutchinson. All right, Miss Shakira Hutchinson, if you can go ahead and start your camera, please. All right, good afternoon. Can you hear us okay?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. I'm Judge Guy. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand so that you can give testimony in today's proceeding. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to provide is true and correct under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, and if you could state your full name, please.
Shakira Siobhan Hutchinson.
All right, and you've been called as a witness today for Mr. Shaquille Hutchinson. He is your brother?
That is correct. I am the oldest of the four of us.
Okay. And do you live in Atlanta?
No, I do not. I currently reside in Georgia. In Florida, not in Georgia.
All right. And when was the last time you lived with your siblings?
That would have been approximately 8 years ago. I had a brief stay at my mom's house, much like the situation now that's happening at the house. So my mom has a house with multiple bedrooms, and if one of us are having any kind of hardship, her house is always open. So during my first marriage, when we were getting divorced, I needed to go back home to my mom with my two girls. And much like the setup now, I was there with Crystal and Shaquille. Right now it's Kimona, Crystal, and Shaquille. So kind of like Mona and I rotated. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And approximately how long ago was that you stayed there with them?
I stayed with them in the same house for 3 months before I went on to start my school program. I got called back to New York within a 3-month period, but I lived with them for 3 months in that capacity, like after childhood. Yeah.
All right. And now, Mr. Hutchinson has called you as a witness today. What would you like to tell the court?
Well, for me being the oldest, they're fairly closer in age than I am. I'm about to be 43. So I'm always used to the verbal altercation between them. You know, siblings get into it verbally. I've never seen him like hit them or anything like that, to where a order of protection is what's being requested now. That came as a big shock to me. Like I said, all of them are in the house with my mom. You know, my sisters have their kids in there. We're all doing this whole family unit thing. So I don't understand. This kind of like came out of thin air to have an order of protection against him over a verbal altercation. We've always had verbal altercations. I've had verbal altercations with Shaquille. I've had verbal altercations with Kimona. None of us have ever gotten physical to where an order of protection is needed, which to my understanding, that is when an order of protection is needed. Like if your life is in jeopardy, if someone has physically assaulted you. It's never been a physical assault.
All right. And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I know I did speak with my mom because she was very distraught at the fact that he had to leave the house in the capacity that he did that day. And she's adamant about him wanting him back in her house. Like, not only is he the baby, he's the only boy. So it's 3 girls and then Shaquille. So you can imagine how she feels now that she had to find another means for him to have shelter. he works as a security guard. So I know he's trying to get his finances in place to eventually move out on his own. But like I stated prior, my mom has never forced any of us to move out. And just as Kimona and Crystal is using my mom's house kind of like as a little refuge right now until they get their financial situations in place, him being the youngest and being the boy, like for my mom, I'm sure they could understand how she feels knowing that he's the one that has to leave her house. You know, Kimona's there with her fiance and her daughter, and she's currently pregnant. Crystal is there with her son, and her fiance comes back and forth. So to see them rally up against him over, again, a verbal dispute that they were having, it's really shocking to the entire family. So much so that they've been like trying to text message like my aunts and stuff, trying to plead their case because everybody in the family is just like, why would you guys take it to this extent? You know? Yeah, so for me, just as the older sister, seeing that it's gotten to this level, it is really heartbreaking. And as far as their lives being in danger, to need an order of protection, I'm gonna stand on, I can't see Shaquille hurting any of us, myself included, who I said have gotten into verbal altercations with him. So I don't understand where this massive need for an order of protection and him to vacate my mother's house came into play. There has to be something else going on behind the scenes. So I'm here to speak on his behalf and as the older sister that, you know, we've gotten into rifts before, but never, like no one has ever gotten up and do something like this.
And just for clarification, you were not present on the June 30th or the July incident, correct?
No, that is correct. I wasn't physically present. No, yeah. I heard about the aftermath of it. Yeah.
And I do appreciate your testimony today. You're welcome to stay if you want to, otherwise you are excused.
Okay.
And Mr. Hutchinson, who is your next witness? You're on mute, sir.
That would be my mother, but I don't know if she's still on standby, if there's a Samsung phone on the list.
Yeah, we'll see if we can connect her.
Yeah, she's still here, but she was not able to connect to audio. Let's see if she wanted to work.
What is your mom's name?
Melise Hutchinson. She's in Jamaica, so her signal.
Oh.
I'm bringing her in now. I'm just waiting for her to actually join.
All right. And I do take it from what Miss Shakira Hutchinson said that the mother was obviously of the opinion that this should not be issued, and I do understand that that would be her testimony. Obviously, she's having some sort of technical difficulty. Before I give final word to the petitioners in this case, Mr. Shaquille Hutchinson, is there anything further you wish to add at this time?
No, Your Honor, it's just, this is very wild for me. Like I said, I could have put out a TPO too, but I just didn't feel like this was needed for family. I just got off of work at 8 and I still haven't slept waiting to do this, and I have to be at work again by 8. This is what I mean by I really don't have time when I'm at the house. I'm supposed to be asleep right now. But I have nothing else to add. Just, you know, we can go from here.
Okay, thank you. Miss Crystal Hutchinson, is there anything further you wish to say in rebuttal?
Yes, I wanted to talk about, shed light on the fact that Shakira said something about my mom not wanting this.
Which at this point is all hearsay, but yes, I appreciate it.
Right. The initial hearing that we had with Judge, I forget, Edgerton. She did state that she wanted Shaquille out of the house. And the fact that my mom does not really stay here like that. She lives with her full-time boyfriend. So I mean, yeah, I just wanted to make that be known that she's not at the house. She lives with her boyfriend. So the only people who would be accompanying the house right now would be me, Kimona, our 2 kids, and Kimona's fiance. My boyfriend does not live with me.
Okay, thank you. Miss Kimona Hutchinson, is there anything you wish to add? in rebuttal.
Yes, Your Honor. It, like I said, it baffles me at the fact that, you know, he has these witnesses, and the witness doesn't even live in the household with us. She honestly doesn't go through the day-to-day motions with him. You know, she's not dealing with the disrespect. She's not dealing with, you know, certain things that are going on and that we are experiencing every day. You know, living in that fear that she so-called claims that she's never had to deal with, you know, not to bring up anything else because we're dealing with this particular situation. But when Shakira was 13, she doesn't remember that she got.
I don't need to.
You know what I mean? Okay, you know, but there's just certain other things that has happened that people tend to forget. And, you know,
Families have a lot of history. Everything is.
And I understand that, but the fact that she doesn't live here and she's making those statements, it's very alarming to me.
All right, thank you. All right, having heard the testimony today presented by the three parties, and having heard the testimony of the witness, and I've reviewed the evidence presented by the petitioner, Ms. Crystal Hutchinson. We've had a chance to see that, and obviously all parties here had a chance to view what was presented. The court finds that there has been, and let me just state, because I think there might have been some confusion based on some of the statements that I've heard given today. Family violence doesn't just include physical violence. I keep hearing that there was no hitting, so therefore there's no family violence. That is not what the Code of Georgia states. It is not limited to physical violence. In Georgia, family violence encompasses assault, which is a verbal threat, getting in someone's face, threatening them, making a harassing statement. That falls under family violence. And I do see evidence of that in these videos today. And I heard evidence of that presented, reliable evidence presented by the parties of that. I do see there is substantial risk of future family violence continuing in that manner or escalating if this were not to be kept in place. So I am going to issue the 12-month protective order. There'll be no contact with the parties and no coming back to the home until it naturally expires 12 months from today's date on July 31st of 2024. I am not going to order the family violence class in this case for the respondent because he is not in a domestic relationship with these parties and there are no children involved. Under federal law, he is not allowed to possess a firearm. So the entirety of this order will be contained to having no contact with these two women and staying 100 yards away from them at all times. So I will prepare that order and send it to you all. And that is the conclusion of this hearing. So thank you all, and you are excused.